Good evening and welcome into my home, Granny Moreno, and I'm very glad to welcome you in. And I want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you for listening and watching. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want to sound like a voice crying in the wilderness, but here's the deal. We need to have our eyes opened. We need to understand what's going on. Today's Father's Day, and I want to tell you that I did have a good father, and he was a retired minister, and he's been gone now for several years. But 8 years ago, let me tell you what he said. It was just before the 2012 election, and my very well-educated aunt just loved to go into discussions with my father. And my father would get a little heated with the conversations because my aunt is a Democrat. My father was a Republican. I happened to be there on that night that he prophesied something that was going to happen. No one realized it was a prophecy, but it seems that it's turned out to be. My aunt was certain that he needed to vote for Obama and not Mitt Romney. Who knows? But my dad finally ended up, after they'd gone back and forth with this heated discussion, my dad finally took his little finger, well, he had a big hand, so it wasn't a little finger, and he pointed it at her, and he said, he called her name, "If your candidate wins, he will be the last president America will ever know." Imagine how surprised I was when I started recently reading and hearing about bringing that president back into the White House. Yeah, I'm thinking, apparently my father prophesied and didn't realize he was prophesying what was going to happen. Because it appears that most of the people would just love to have that man back into the White House. Unfortunately, most of our people have become socialists and communist minded. You hear about what's happening in Seattle? Yeah. You want to be one of those 8,000 people in that block that's facing the terrorism that's now all of that information is beginning to leak out? It's not hunky-dory there. They want out of it. They're not liking their new socialism. Well, our country is spiraling downward, just as my father told my aunt that night. It's going down faster than it's ever gone before. Sad. You see, our American flag is being trampled upon. They have no respect. They're not even really Americans. They have no idea what the Constitution reads. Don't want to get too controversial. If you believe that, I got another joke for you. You see, we're at a time now when we've got to decide, what are we going to do? What are we going to do to survive? Yes, I realize that there's a lot of people that's got Band-Aids, beans, and bullets. But what do you have right now? We've got to prepare. You need a plan. See, the elderly are being trampled upon, pushed aside, even murdered in the streets by these same people, same type of people that's taken over Seattle. Families are being destroyed. They're betraying one another. Seems like I read that somewhere else, didn't I? But it's happening right now. We've got civil unrest, and that's only the beginning. Do you think it's only going to stop with the civil unrest, the socialists? No. I believe there's going to be some earthquakes, and I believe that there's going to be a larger, powerful nation that will actually come against our country, have troops on the ground. Some say they've already got troops here. They're just waiting for the call. What are you going to do? You got to have some common sense. You got to get prepared. Now, my daddy said, you know, I'm going to get me some of that food that lasts 20 or 30 years in those buckets that they're talking about. He said, I'm going to get it from me and your mama. He said, I was thinking I ought to get enough for the whole family. You want to chip in? I said, sure. Well, there's another thing that we have to do. You got to get rid of all of your excess baggage. Get rid of everything that's not needed in your life now. Think minimal. Minimalist. Yes. Get rid of it. You don't need to be dragging it around. What you really need are clothing to cover your body. You need shoes. If you're in an area like here, you need warm winter stuff and you need summer stuff. Flip-flops aren't going to do it year-round here like it was in Florida. You got to prepare. Get rid of all the stuff in the shed. Sell it. And with the money that you get selling the unnecessary items, even though it's Aunt Flossie's, precious dish, sell it for what it's worth. Sell it to one of your relatives. It's not a weight kit. You want Aunt Flossie's dish? I'll sell it to you for what it's worth. Then it stays in the family. But you got to go minimalist. Everything that you've got extra, sell it. I'm repeating myself. Sell it. And with that money, prepare what you need. Get your water in order. Get your alternative energy in order. Get a way to cook. Get a way to be warm. That's not going to require electricity. These things are what you need to put your money towards. You don't need to be putting it towards your beer and your fast food. Now, I'm guilty of fast food. Oh yeah, just as bad as anyone else. I'm guilty of having a soda, just like anyone else. But I'm doing better. I'm drinking water more often. And I've learned that whenever I eat out at a restaurant, I come home and I feel so bad. My stomach hurts. It's just not good. So it's better to eat at home. Buy your stuff. Eat at home. You'll be healthier for it. You save a lot of money doing that. When going minimalist, you're going to find you've got a lot of stuff that you can sell. If you can't sell it, then give it away. And that's okay too. You just don't want to be responsible for it. I know that my shed is big enough that I could sleep several people out there. It needs to be finished, but where am I going to get the money to finish it? I'm going to sell the crap that's inside there to finish the she shed so it will be adorable and acceptable for a guest to stay in. Do you think we got a bunch of fairy tales being told? No, I don't. You know we don't have fairy tales being told. You know what's coming down the road. Okay, so you say you believe in the rapture and that God's going to come and rescue you. Okay, well, you rapture people. Let me tell you what one of your favorite preachers preaches. His name is Perry Stone. And Perry Stone preaches there's going to be tribulation before that rapture will take place. You better be prepared. You better get to higher ground. Flee to the mountains. He might have changed that story once he found out so many people were leaving Florida and moving to Tennessee. But anyhow, no. You need to take this serious and prepare for your own families if you love them. It's not a bunch of fairy tales. It's not a bunch of fear porn. It's just kindly letting you know that you need to make some other arrangements. Found out that there was a man in a group that I like to go into every now and then online that he's a ham radio operator. I wouldn't mind having a license as a ham radio operator. I really wouldn't, but you gotta have money. So sell my junk and buy the ham radio stuff, you know? Just put your money where it will do the most good for you. It doesn't need to be in the bank, not all of it. You just need to use your money. And don't forget Dave Ramsey. He says to be sure and keep your stash. Your emergency stash. That is important. Very important. But right now, make sure you're ready. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. We have no way of knowing. But I'm not going to be caught unaware. I know what's coming. And I'm going to be prepared. Are you? You need to position yourself to survive. And I have positioned myself in Tennessee to survive as long as I can. You have a blessed day and a blessed evening. Good night.